We need to take that 70% of renters and find out what is the percentage of Native Black Americans, American freedmen, and let's start steering folks towards home ownership. It's generational wealth 101. That's how you start to build generational wealth, is with a home, not a car that's paid off, not things that can be taken away. If you got a home, and I'm talking about brick and mortar, no disrespect to anybody that lives in a modular or a manufactured house, but you can't truly pass that down because that home is still on somebody else's property that you paid lot rent to. You need to have your own land. You need to be able to scoop up a piece of dirt, throw it up in the air and be like, you can't do shit to me. That's mine. Can't do that in a trailer park because that's their land, you know? So when we start talking about renters, how do we start turning people towards home ownership? I know there's some banks out here who have been very, very good to a lot of our Black residents in Ypsilanti and helping them with home ownership. I want to see more. I want to see more. And I want to see our politicians going to those banks and to those credit unions and say, hey, we need to be setting up some workshops in Park Ridge and all the other places that they're doing these pull-ups and turn-ups and all this other shit. We need to be owning homes and not just renting in these homes, building a land bank. Because I know all the people that own homes in Ypsi, they're not just going to give the homes up, but there's a lot of vacant homes. There's a lot of territories that we can get where people can, you know, because obviously we're not looking for people that neighborhood that I was talking about. That's not going to be the first time homeowner's home generally. You got to crawl before you walk, they say. But we've got to get people into the townhomes. We got to get people into condos. We got to get people into single family dwellings, but with mortgages, not with a lease. And how can the politicians pull that together? And do you think anybody, let's say on the current administration, any of the county commissioners, even in Ann Arbor, is anybody really looking down that lane to gain more access for Native Black American home ownership? Have you seen it? Your ear is more to the ground than mine. Have you seen it? Have you heard about it? Has anybody talked about it? Or are they just talking about affordable housing on the leasing end?
Yeah, so there's a lot there.
He talks a lot, goddammit. He talks a lot.
No, it's great. I think it's my opportunity to sneak in some policy thoughts here. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, you've talked about vacancies, and it's true. There's vacancies in Ypsi, and there's a lot of property speculation going on where there's outside investors that are looking to Ypsilanti as a place that is, you know, economically depressed, where they can
What did you call that? I was sipping at the time. Property what?
Speculators. So outside property speculators that come in, talk to any real estate agent, they'll tell you all about it.
Okay.
So there's folks that from other states, maybe even other countries, that look to Ypsilanti as a depressed community with a lot of potential for economic investment. And they snap up a bunch of, you know, to them, you know, cheap properties, and then they sit on it for years. Or they flip it and make a cool $100,000.
Sounds like Detroit.
Yes.
Sounds like Detroit. Yeah, people did that for years. They sat on houses.
Yeah.
So that happens in it.
I might as well just let it go right there. Uh-oh. A little hot. Let me bring it down. Good afternoon. I had the mic too hot, but I didn't want that statement to go any further than it was. Let me get this right. I'm trying to get these levels back right, man. We didn't lose power or nothing, but somehow my system reset again. So I'm back trying to get this audio set. And I could have even did something to kick it and make everything go back to zero. I don't know, but I'm trying to get it back set. Good afternoon. It's Friday. And I appreciate anybody that's going to check out this live. Appreciate you, Free. absolutely share the video. Share the video. Like this video. Create that digital footprint for Freedman Media. And if you are not a subscriber to the YouTube channel, you're not a subscriber or follower, I hate that term actually, on Twitter or Instagram, make sure you do so you can get what's coming there. I do mostly the streams on Twitter. Haven't really gotten into a lot of Twitter spaces lately. Contemplated on doing a couple, but things just didn't pan out for the timing. But where I'm at right now, we're just trying to appreciate you. Thank you. Trying to get this thing back online so I can start to get some regular scheduling. I've tentatively got something ready to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live, and all the other days do breakdowns of those lives. So we're going to see how that works next week. I've already got 2 shows in the queue. And that term I'm just coming to grips with. I really haven't liked using the term show because I don't think this is just a show. It is more than a show. It's a message. And I know some people don't really concern themselves with kicking the messages, but I do. You know, I concern myself with kicking the message and making sure the messages are sound, making sure my audio is clear, making sure my slides are good. Everybody's not concerned about those things. I get it. I totally get it. And I'm not here to knock anybody for what they do and what they don't do, especially on my level. I mean, I'm sitting at about 650 subs over on YouTube. So, you know, we're not even in a monetized state. Although I do appreciate the support for Freedman Media. I do appreciate the support through the Cash Apps, through the PayPals. Every time that gets better, we get better. You know, we've maintained the equipment. I fried a computer, but I got a other unit up working, so it's working functionally. Sound right now, you know, it's not perfect, it's not the fastest, but it does what it needs to do and allows me to continue to get this message out. You just need multiple screens to be able to see certain things. You know, I mean, we're not large. We're not like the bigger outfits out here. I always say that. I'm not like the bigger outfits, but that don't mean I should be coming in here raggedy. My sound should be good. My videos should be clear. My slides should be clear, not blurry. I see a lot of y'all do slides, and when y'all blow them up, they blur. You know, that's not good. That's just not good broadcasting. I just want to let y'all know that. Let me just be honest. That shit sucks. Okay? That sucks. When you do something and you put it up on the screen for all to see, if it's clear on your end and it's not clear on your viewer's end, that's not a good stream. Because it's clear on your end, you're seeing it basically from, you know, in studio. You're sending it out across platforms, and if it doesn't go good there, then it's really not good. But some people don't care about that. As long as they can read it, they're good with that. But, you know, I like to move between screens to make sure that I can see what the viewers are seeing and listeners are seeing. Like every now and then I'll have headphones on. Y'all notice why I have headphones on. That's me listening to what the stream sounds like on another deck. So for me, it's always about how I sound, way more than how I look. But if my videos are clear, my slides are clear, then I look good. I'm not worried about me looking good. I'm going to look as good as I can look, and that's it. I'm not going to give you no more than this. This is all you got. I play with the uniform God gave me. Y'all going to take all this platinum. You're going to take all this platinum. You know what I'm saying? I ain't built up that bag. I ain't built up that podcasting bag, you know, like some of y'all have. You know, some of y'all got some crazy podcasting bags out there, and you went and got that PPP money because you went and got some veneers. I ain't got my veneers yet. You know, I should probably be working on that. Maybe I'll start a fundraise for some veneers, you know, because a lot of them podcasters went out during the pandemic and got them some veneers. They went and got them some fronts. You know, there was a lot of them that went and got him some fronts. There was the Boyce went and got him some fronts, and Antonio went and got him some fronts. And I guess they say Tariq got him some fronts. I don't really look at people's teeth, but now they saying Tariq went and got some fronts. So a lot of people went and got fronts during, you know, the pandemic. So, you know, I mean, they said Frank got some fronts. I know he had got the molds, and when I gave him the money that he stole, you know, I mean, that's not a play on words. I gave him the money that he stole. They say he went and got some fronts. So it is what it is. I mean, people got fronts during that pandemic time, whether it be by ill-gotten means, PPP means, or, you know, I don't know what y'all was doing during them times, but yeah, a lot of people got veneers. Veneer business went up. Veneer stock went up. They got some fronts. They got them looking right. So, you know, I don't know if they got plates. I don't know if they got them things they just pop on like mouth guards. I don't know what they got. You know, if they got the ones drilled in them, you know, it depends, I'm sure. But it is what it is. But I ain't got none of that because I'm not a big outfit yet. So the look is what the look's going to be. I'm generally going to wear black. If you see me without black on, I don't know, you probably rarely ever see me without black on, but it is what it is. But if you see me without black on, you know, just say something about it, and I'll tell you why I'm not wearing black. Let me check this audio from my drops. Let's check my audio here. Got one up right here. Just trying to get these back where I was. Here, what do I got at the top here?
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Yeah, I got that one. I like that. I like that.
In my mind.
Yeah, back to my staples. Back to my staples. But we're gonna do some other things, you know, today, before we really get into this code switching message. This code switching message is something that is near and dear to my heart because a lot of people are very ignorant as to what code switching is. Some people think code switching is one thing, and when code switching is another. Some people are actually right on what code switching is, which is a good thing. So I want to blow it up just so y'all can actually see, you know, it is an accurate definition of code switching. You know, code switching is a linguistic phenomenon in which speakers switch back and forth between two or more languages or language varieties in the context of a single conversation or utterance. Okay. Definition. So it gave its definition, you know, kind of that's the way somebody kind of put it together. It's named Rampton. And I'm going to give you really what it was and who it came from. You're going to be amazed at where code switching actually came from, if you don't already know. Code switching refers to the act of using multiple languages or language varieties in a single situation. It is regularly used by minority groups. So put a pin in that. It is regularly used by minority groups when switching between interactions within their subculture and interactions with the dominant culture. So let me run that back. I'm just going to run the end of that back because the other part is in their top part. It is regularly used by minority groups. They're talking about Negroes. They're talking about Negroes. So if this is in any way a doubt in your mind, they are talking about Negroes here. They're not talking about anybody else. They're talking about Negroes. Okay. When switching between interactions within their subculture and interactions with the dominant culture. And then they give an example. In the classroom, schools require students to use standard language expressions. Those growing up in minority communities, they're talking about Negroes. They're talking about Negroes. Just so you know, they're talking about Negroes. Okay. Communities must code switch. African American children, told you they were talking about Negroes. For example, constantly switch between African American vernacular English and standard English. African American vernacular English and standard English. They're basically saying you switch in between Ebonics and English. That's what they're saying you're doing. They're saying you go back and forth between Ebonics and standard English. I don't know what African American vernacular English is. I have no idea what that is. They lost me there with that. But that's why I wanted to use this one from the helpfulprofessor.com. I wanted to use this one because this is where things get lost. This is how, where they say stuff gets lost in the wash. because this definitely got lost in the wash. This comment was lost in the wash, but ain't nobody said nothing about it. Why? Because we don't say nothing about this kind of shit. These types of things never comes up. When you hear somebody talking about code switching, they're generally talking about somebody like, you know, who they feel like can play both sides of the coin. You know, he fucks with them folks, but then he fucks with these folks, and then he fucks with those folks. No. Kind of, yeah, sort of, but no. See, those are the people that try to say that they've never code switched before. If they're trying to decipher how you code switch, they're generally the people who say they never have code switched. And there ain't no way out here with anybody. There's nobody walking this planet now of African descent in America, American freedmen, that has not code switched. There's absolutely no way, no how. So those who like to feel like they don't bend, so they'll never break, they only move to the beat of their own drum, those who talk that crazy shit, some of those people are some of the biggest code switchers. Others just feel like they don't have to maneuver a certain way with dominant society, but they might not have to maneuver a certain way, but I guarantee you they code switch, because there's no area around here where you only talk to all, and as they put it, minorities. And then they used African Americans. There's absolutely nowhere you can go in this area and in most areas where you're only going to deal with minorities. I'm going to use their words because this is their stuff. I'm going to use their vernacular English. And when I think about code switching, I look at this and I'm like, okay, that gives kind of a global perspective of it. But what about those who have to code switch to just maneuver? And I'm telling you, if you're eating, you code switch. If you're surviving on this planet without eating, then you don't code switch. But if you eat something, you code switch. Now, that's whether you cook every single meal that you ever eat, which most people don't, which no one does. I don't know anybody that cooks 7 days a week, all their meals. Those people are actually dead. Them grandmas and grandpas that just went to the store, bought stuff, and cooked every single day, no matter what day it was, they're gone. They're all gone. Ain't nobody out here walking the way they were before and just cooking meals every single day out the same cast iron skillet. Those people are they're not in existence anymore. I'm trying to tell you, they're not in existence. They're not around here. We need not look for them. And it ain't just in my mind.
In my mind.
It's not just in my mind. So, but yes, Good Friday to y'all. Well, not Good Friday. I guess Good Friday done passed because, you know, and we're not going to go all into that. We're not going to go all into the Bible verses and what it was and what it is. You know, I had a conversation a couple weeks ago and dude just kept reciting Bible verses and shit to me. And I'm like, dog, you do know where I am with that book, right? And I don't think he really understood. I think he gets it now. You know. I mean, I love when people come at me with the good book. I love when people come at me with the good book because I talk the way I talk. And I don't code switch to go to the biblical realm. Don't mean I don't know the biblical realm. I just choose not to recite the biblical realm. That was a part of my life where I recited the biblical realm. So just because I don't recite it now doesn't mean I don't know it. You just didn't know me then. And I try to let people know, don't go there with me. I can break those verses down way better than most of the preachers out here. Most of the preachers, I can break it down. The amazing reactionary, what's good with you? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for real. I'm just out here doing God's will, baby. I'm just out here doing God's will. You know what I'm saying? My message is not going to be for everybody. I get it. But the one thing that they cannot say about my message is that it's an untruthful message. It's an opinionated message, but it's not an untruthful message. So when I talk about code switching is not an untruth. See, some people look at code switching as, oh, they lying because they something different. They got to be something different. No, they code switch because you got to eat out here. Anybody that feels that they don't code switch, have never code switched, they're lying. They are lying. There's nobody moving out here that has not code switched. And we're going to break that down in a second. There's nobody out here that has not code switched. And shout out to YouTube, my 650 over there. Shout out to Facebook. I don't know how many Facebook friends I got on this other page. I don't even check it. And then shout out to the people who actually subscribe to the Freedman Media page on Facebook. I want to start leaving more live content on that. But it's just about getting all this other stuff set up first. But I really just want to start going live on that Freedman Media page versus just doing it on my personal page and having it feed through the Freedman Media page. I'm going to start, I start to get good traction and get scheduling up. People will kind of know where I'm at with it. And if I stick today, let me know I'm stick. Let me know, because I want to know how my signals are, because when I bring this back up, if the speeds aren't right, I tend to get hemmed up. And I don't want to be out there buffering thinking I'm going, and just want to let y'all know. So I wanted to talk about this code switching thing because I thought it was important. I thought it was important to get into something where I know some people know something about, and then some people might not know anything about. But what some people know is not all factual. It's not all factual. And I want to bring up who actually created code switching. Because a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people don't know this. Did I actually do? I think I did his Wikipedia too. Let me see. A lot of people don't know who created code switching. And I want to bring it up. And I still haven't gotten the correct pronunciation of his name, but I'm going to say it the way I read it. And hopefully it works. And if somebody actually knows different, put it in the chat. I have no problem with it. And if anybody wants to come up and discuss anything today, I'll bring you right up. I'll send you the link in the chat and you can come on up. Yeah. So this is what I want to do. I want to share a screen and I want to bring up the person that actually created the term code switch, because a lot of people don't know this. I know a lot of people know some things, but a lot of people don't know this. Okay. This is the individual who created the term code switch. Now, I say Einer because EI to me is I generally. Now, it could be Einer, but I say Einer. I say Einer, EI. It could be Einer because it's a capital E. It could be Einer Hagen. I don't know. So I need to find that out. Was his name Einer or Einer? I need to find that out. Einer Hagen. He was a linguist. He was a linguist. Y'all know what a linguist is, right? Y'all do know what a linguist is, right? A linguist is someone who has mastered the scientific studies of the human language. It's called scientific studies because it entails comprehensive, systematic, objective, and precise analysis of all aspects of language, cognitive, social, environmental, biological, as well as structural. Let's go back to Einar. And he was a Norwegian American. Okay. He was a Norwegian American, born in Sioux City, Iowa, to Norwegian parents. So he was a Norwegian American, but he was born in Sioux City. So he's an American. Okay. From what I know, he did good work. He was not a race soldier. And he was obviously a scholarly man. University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. Academic work, University of Wisconsin-Madison and Harvard University. Married once and 32, and she was still living when he left up out of here. That was crazy. Good long marriage. So lots of books, lots of stuff you can find on him. Okay. Einar. I don't know what his name really is, but it is what it is. He created the term code switching. Now, something else that I found, we're going to get rid of that. I'll come back up. But then there's another one that I want to do. Because we're on code switching, right? We're on code switching. I want to go to another screen share. And this, there we go. Here, let's bring this one up. This one here is from the University of Michigan, Detroit campus, The Burden of Code Switching. This came out just last year, June 23rd, 2022. So this was by Susan Hutton of LSA Magazine. In the 1950s, linguist Einar Hagen, this is how I found out. I started reading up on some things and I came across something. I saw University of Michigan, saw Detroit, it was all in the keywords, and I hit it. And this is what came up. Coined the term code switch to describe people's ability to move between languages and dialects. Now, how many people knew that? I don't know. And I don't even care. And it says linguists explored when people code switched, and sociologists. Sociologists. Yeah, everybody's a sociologist. So I don't know where they got this information from and which sociologists they got it from, but if they knew about this, because sociologists know a little bit about something, about everything. Sociologists do. Sociologists know a little bit of something about a lot of stuff. You know, I mean, it's like pretty much anybody. Anybody can be a sociologist. If you know what the term sociologist means, anybody can be a sociologist. Okay? Just understand that. Examine why they did. Now, Miles Durkee, assistant professor of psychology, and members of his lab are hoping to understand the psychological costs and benefits that come with code switching, especially from people from marginalized, they're talking about Negroes, marginalized backgrounds, Negroes. So now that we know that, code switching really came about out of the mind, and I'm sure there's other entries that I'd be able to come up about Einar and his whole outlook on this and how he identified it. Because he was born in 1906 and he's seen so much in the early 1900s, obviously, he was seeing a lot of people who were coming up out of chattel slavery. Mr. Hagen, because I don't want to keep calling him Einer Einer. I think it's disrespectful that I don't know the exact pronunciation. So I'm going to say Mr. Hagen out of respect. Mr. Hagen had some type of insight into Black American culture as to why he did the whole code switching thing in the 50s. In the 50s, he was already 50. He was pretty much set in his ways. He didn't have to do anything about this, but he saw something and he broke it all down with the code switch term. Says he coined the term. Now, I don't care if you're a Moor, I don't care if you're a Hebrew Israelite, I don't care if you're a Muslim, I don't care if you Protestant, Catholic, Pentecostal, Second Baptist, whatever. How many people knew this? How many people knew that the term code switch was something that was entered into the 50s? In the 50s. Not to say that people hadn't code switched before, it just hadn't been coined. It had not been coined. So in the 50s, this was abound. It was abound, and nobody was really saying anything about it. How come nobody was saying anything about it? Because we had many people that code switched in the 50s. Lots of people code switched in the 50s. Yeah. Lots and lots and lots of people code switched in the 50s. But they didn't call it code switching because it just got coined in the 50s. So Mr. Hagen creates this term. He had created it for situations dealing with, here, as they say, marginalized backgrounds. We've heard minorities. We've heard African-American vernacular English. So we know what he was on to. We know exactly what he was on to. But when most people use this term code switching, they use it, it's almost like a degrading term. When some people say code switching, they make it seem like it's degrading. They're tempted to insult you. You are something less than. But what you indeed are is somebody who's actually maneuvering, because if you don't code switch in the United States of America, you don't eat. There's no way you eat in this country if you don't code switch. So that's just me on that. I just believe that people need to understand code switching is way more than what we hear most people when they bring it up. If they talking about somebody that code switch, it's way deeper. It's a part of how we function out here. And anybody that wants to try to debate me on this, that they don't code switch in their life, put them on the stage. You got the link. you get the link first. you for real get the link first. You know what I'm saying? If that's what it's about, I'm gonna give you the work first. If you think you can debate me that you don't code switch in your life, I'm letting you know right now. You got the link, bring it. Because once I break down who you are in your society, your family structure, your employment, and your affiliations throughout your community, I'll tell you where you code switch and how you code switch. Yes, I have no problem with doing so. Just because when people try to debate me on things that I know to be actual factual, it's not a good thing. A lot of people just don't try to debate me. They'll go look it up themselves to see if they can catch me in a story. And then I get the inbox, or, people know my number. They'll call me. I'm like, okay, but tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. Break it all down to me. But I have no problem with challenging someone to tell me that they don't code switch in society, which I know they do code switch in society. You have to code switch in society. And if you don't code switch in society, you don't eat. You don't move. And that's just not in my mind. I'm telling you, that's just not in my mind.
In my mind.
So, where are we at? 35 minutes in. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Appreciate anybody that's going to check out the live here, coming in, just kind of sitting back, chilling. Appreciate the amazing reactionary putting that digital footprint in the chat. Free as always, helping me disperse the message. We want to continue to move, y'all. We want to continue to move, but we're going to move very, very methodically. I've got some things that I'm working on that are really good. And pandemic's over. I mean, it's at least out of the news cycle, right? I think there's still a pandemic, but it's at least out of the news cycle. So we can talk about something else, right? So there's some different things that are going to be happening as we work our way outside, from hibernating through the winter. This might be too deep of a hybrid. Let me go on and see if I can get let me get a sativa going. Let me get pepped up. I know some people get pepped up by doing something else, but I get pepped up with a sativa. I have to tell you, I didn't see as many 420 posts as I thought I'd see yesterday. What happened to 420 yesterday? And a lot of places didn't have no real big 420 celebrations. Are y'all doing something other than 420 materials? I need to know. Are y'all doing something other than 420 products? Because generally celebrate 420 like really, really thorough. And yesterday was a little dim. Or y'all being more discreet about your online 420 propaganda. Y'all got employers that don't particularly like you doing that. They frown upon that. I get it. I've had employers that frowned upon me partaking in cannabis. And they did cocaine. How you gonna talk down about what I do when what I do is actually legal? Well, it technically wasn't legal in the state then. It hadn't legalized yet. But it was more legal than cocaine. I've just never understood it. And to each his own. Y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do. I'm tired of telling people not to do drugs. We've had enough stories out here in and out of our own families to deter us from doing hard, illicit drugs. Hard, illicit drugs, there's no good ending to them. You ain't never heard about somebody that's been on drugs and like, man, I had a successful run on drugs. I smoked the shit out of that crack. Ain't nobody ever smoked crack as good as me. Come on, you don't have successful runs. You don't see heroin addicts, man, like I was the best with the dope fiend lean. I was it. They thought I was a statue. You don't hear people, you don't have successful runs with drugs. And as far as pills, come on, man. I think that's where a lot of people are at too. This prescription medication, the opiates, the pills, all that stuff, that's done took over. I mean, it's been a big L, but it's a real big L now. It's a real big L. I'm gonna get rid of this hybrid. I don't really smoke roaches, so I smoke all the way down. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of this because I'm about to get a pick-me-up with this. This is kind of a deeper hybrid. Might have even been an indica dominant. Now we're going to go to a sativa. Let's get busy. Appreciate everybody supporting Freedman Media through the PayPal, through Cash App. Freedman Media. That's what it is. $ Freedman Media, at Freedman Media for PayPal. I want to jump to something real quick because y'all know I jump all over the place with some of these topics. This was actually a feel-good moment, but it was also an eye-opening moment. It was a feel-good moment, but it was an eye-opening moment. Let me go here. This is Lee Merritt and young Ralph. Lee Merritt, the attorney Lee Merritt, and young Ralph, who got shot by the geriatric race soldier in Kansas City. And he's sitting, I'm not sure exactly where they are, if he's at home, but I know he's out, like, you know, he's recovering. He's actually recovering after being shot in the head and the torso, almost murdered. He's recovering. And it's a feel-good moment, but it's not a feel-good moment for me. It's a moment for me to think about something. Because what I want to do is I want to articulate to you what I've been thinking. Only reason I brought this up, only reason I brought this photograph up is because I wanted people to look at Ben. I'm sorry, that's not Ben Crump. It's his boy, Lee. I want everybody to look at Lee Merritt and then look at Ralph and look at the size differential into their body structures. Now, I was told that Ralph was about 6 feet tall. He doesn't look 6 feet tall here. I assumed he was a big kid, like he had a adult body frame, but he very much looks like a teenager, a middle teenager. Lee Merritt is not a heavy set person, just standard size dude. And then you look at Ralph, and Ralph looks like a little boy. And it was brought out initially that old boy shot him because he said he didn't know it was a kid. Who cannot tell that that's a kid? You can't tell me that that's not a kid. Is it in my mind?
In my mind.
Or is this motherfucker lying? Because I think the motherfucker's lying. You can't tell me that you think that is a grown man. That looks like a father-son conversation all day long. That don't look like two brothers. Or that don't look like a father and his grown son. That looks like a little boy. Now you got a little boy knocking on your door. Oh, that's the other lie that they tried to tell. Oh, boy said he pulled the door. He pulled the door open. Ralphie done came too, and I'm calling him Ralphie because he a young boy, so I would give him a nickname. So he's a kid, so I'll give him Ralphie. Ralphie said he never pulled the door. He's knocking on the door. He never opened the door. That old dude initially said that he pulled his doorknob. Nah. That boy survived. Now he's up telling the truth. He gonna be able to testify in his own shit. He gonna be able to testify in his own shit. He gonna step up there. He needs to speak his piece and send that old bird off to the rest of his days in bracelets. I don't give a fuck that he's 84 years old. He needs to go to prison for the rest of his life. All the charges put together, the years that he should get, they should take him on out of here. He ain't gonna last that much longer. He's 84. He 84. It ain't like he gonna be around here a long, long, long time. Anyway, he gonna be here long enough. He gonna be here long enough. So, but that right there made me think. Like I said, it was a feel-good moment for people to see that young Ralphie is on the mend. Lee Merritt done swooped in, got his representation game going. Now, I don't know who he's going to sue. Is he going to sue that dude's estate? Sue Kansas City? I don't know who he sues, man. I don't know where the bag comes from for Lee and Ralphie there. You know, they talking about he got all this crazy money in his GoFundMe, but a lot of that's going to be for his medical bills. He stacked up some shit quick. They saved his life. Them bills grew exponentially when he survived. And they said it could be into the millions. They said his medical bills could be into the millions. They saved him. They saved him. When Ralphie get back to school, Ralphie gonna be getting major love, boy. When Ralphie go back to school, they're gonna be like,
I know that ain't who I think it is.
oh yeah. He gonna be coming up the hall, got his big clarinet on his back.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
And I hope he can play that clarinet still. I hope he can play that clarinet because he's like, I guess really like, he's like first chair. He's like first chair in that. So I'm hoping that he can come back and play that thing, you know, and it didn't mess up his lungs or anything like that, his ability to be able to, you know, blow his horn. I want him to be able to do his thing. Get back into, you know, the educational system. I guess he's, you know, borderline brilliant with the scholastic shit too. We need young Ralphie out here in the game. And I know some people done said a few things. Let me go ahead and say my piece with it now. Because I'm not going to try to avoid nothing. I don't care about none of these big outfits anyway. They don't listen to me, so I'm not even worried about it. If Professor Black Truth or Tariq or any of them, if they listen to me, they'd acknowledge, you know, the wisdom. But they got their own platforms to protect. And I know certain one of them, people do listen because they got producers. They got people that bring them content. I hear my shit on their shit. I hear other people get on their stuff and will say things because what am I going to say? I mean, it's a message. I want the message pushed. If you want to push it towards them, push it towards them. But just give me the, you know, be like, hey, I heard this on Freedman Media. Give me my credit, as they used to say. Give me my credit. But yeah, larger platforms, you know, when they say certain things about this, I've been hearing a lot of stuff talk about because they are immigrants. I think they're Liberian. So, you know, they're from the continent of Africa. And people are saying, you know, why are we riding with them when they don't be riding with us? Now, I know a lot of it comes from the political realm. I know a lot of it comes from, you know, the social justice, you know, reparations, different things like that. Some people go, you know, and they dig into, hey, some of these people were contributors, or at least their ancestors were contributors to us being sent over here. So there's grudges and whatnot with that. But what I see, when I see this situation, I'm not looking at where they may have been in the last 20, 25 years. I get it. I understand. And hopefully I can break this down to where people understand. You know, I look at Ralphie, I mean, he's a black boy. I'm just using that term to be concise. I know some people don't like to rock with the term black, but he's black. He's a black boy. I'm not going to say brown. Y'all can let that be known. I'm not going to say brown. I understand his skin is brown, but I'm not going to say brown. So he's a little black boy, and he's got a black mama, and I think that's his aunt that's been on. So he's got a black auntie. I get where they from. I get, you know, all that. But when he got shot, I didn't look at him and be like, oh, man, I wonder what country he's from. And so he's like, looked at, he's a black kid, man. He's a black kid. I'm not thinking about what kind of black kid, what part of the world is he from as a black kid. I'm thinking he's a black kid that got shot. I got to care about that more than care about anything else. He's a child. Let's start there. He's a child. Before I get into his blackness, he's a child. So my empathy is already there for young Ralphie. He's a child, man. Why wouldn't I want this boy to be able to come out on the other side? But there were people that were out there that were being very disparaging, in my estimation, because of the fact that his people originate from Liberia, saying that we shouldn't have been rocking with them so hard. I'm like, but it's a fucking kid. He's been shot. Why are we dealing with that part of it right now? See, I'm going to rock for American freedmen. I'm going to rock for Native Black Americans, okay? I'm going to rock with them. Y'all want to say African American? That's on y'all. I got you. Motherfuckers want to say FBA? I got you. ADOS? I got you. I know who I am. Do you know who you are? You better code switch. And we'll get back to that message in a minute, but I had to make a break. This is kind of like my commercial break from the code switching message, because we'll get back into that in just a minute. How do you tear him away from the collective of Black people? Because I don't even know if their paperwork's right. I assume their paperwork's right. They living kind of good. So I assume their paperwork's right. So how can we basically differentiate those Black people from Black Americans in a situation when that kid got shot? We didn't know where they were from, and why should we care at that point? Ralphie got shot unjustifiably multiple times. Shouldn't that be what we care about? Shouldn't that be what we care about? But for some reason, it's not. Some people are on some other shit talking about, man, they don't be riding with us. They don't be riding with us. Okay. And I'll rock with that on a lot of edges. A lot of them don't rock with us. A lot of them just come over here to steal at will. But this is a baby. I think he's 16, but he's a baby. That's a baby. Boy, I'm 3 times your age. You're a baby. You get to be 3 times somebody's age, you're a baby. That's a baby. So, seeing that made me think they can throw out the one big black nigger rule, because this was a baby. There's no way that motherfucker felt threatened to shoot that little boy. That's all I'm saying. And I'll say no more on that. I'll probably talk about it again whenever I stream again. But yeah, that's nuts. Another thing that's nuts, before we get back to code switching, this right here, I don't like it. I don't like it. I've talked about it before. All these remakes. What are we doing here? I mean, what are we doing here? Why is this a necessity? Why is this a necessity? I actually still haven't looked up the black dude, Sydney. I guess they're using the same names. I would suppose they, use the same names, right? Sydney and what's the other one's name? What's Woody's character's name? Shit. Billy. Billy Ho. Oh, I know who Jack Harlow is, but I don't know who the brother is. You know who the brother is, Free? What's he been in? He been in anything I would know? I don't really recognize him. But the fact that they made this shit, that's why we're talking about. We're not even talking about the actors. I don't care about the actors. I actually seen the trailer. You know what? I'll actually be honest with you. I seen the trailer, and Jack Harlow looks like he can act. They done sent Jack Harlow to acting classes. Mm-hmm. They sent Jack Harlow to acting classes. Jack Harlow acts too good in that trailer. I don't know how he does in the whole movie, but the trailer looks good. He acted too well in that trailer not to have taken acting classes. But I don't know who the brother is. That's why I'm trying to figure out who is the brother. Can the brother pull this role off? Because his name is Sinqua. I don't know where he's at. Is he a freedman? Wesley Snipes is a freedman. Let me see if Sinqua is a freedman. You know, we're big on that. You coming in taking freedman roles. There he is. Says he's an American. That don't mean shit. That's him? Hold on a second. That's the same dude? Yeah, I guess that is. Okay, says his filmography. What has he been in that I would know? Nothing. Okay, that's film. Nothing. Not one movie do I know of him. Let me go to TV. You've been in Friday Night Lights on TV, but I don't even watch it. I watch the movie. I like the movies on Grey's Anatomy. I don't watch that shit either. He said he was on Power. Oh, this is old boy. Man, you know who this is? The dude that's the black dude is Kanan's son on Power. 50 Cent's son on Power. He looked way different. He actually played in Soul Train too. American Soul, yep. That's what he's in now. Says he's in present. So they must still be producing that. That's who that is. So the black dude Indiana. Yeah. Yeah, he's a freedman. So, okay, so now I know who he is. So he can act. We know he can act. And then Jack Harlow took some acting lessons because Jack Harlow's about music. Jack Harlow wasn't an actor. He was a musician. And now he's in this role, and I don't like them making all these remakes, so I'm going to say I don't like it, but I'm not going to say I don't like it because the trailer was actually pretty decent. I still don't see myself watching it. You know, I don't see myself watching it. But it is what it is. What it is, what it is. I got to get that drop. What it is, what it is. I'm going to get that drop. What it is, what it is. Yeah, I'm feeling better already. That sativa got in my system. It's already moving and grooving. Nice. Yeah, it's already moving and grooving. All right. So going back to code switching, understanding, just understanding really where this thing is. Yeah, once they're classics, you need to leave the shit alone. I mean, I really don't have a nice way of saying that. Just, leave that shit alone. Stop messing with it. Just leave it alone. We don't need you to mess with it. We don't need you to mess with it. Once it's a classic, it's a classic. It is. This is all we need you to do at this point.
Negroes, do your duty.
Just do your duty. We don't need you to do anything more. Just
Negroes, do your duty.
do it again.
Negroes, do your duty.
That's all we need you to do, bro. Stop remaking classics. What are you trying to do? I mean, I haven't been able to bring myself, and I'm not going to bring myself to watch this. But this house party thing that they filmed at LeBron James's house, really? LeBron James's house is the backdrop to the new House Party movie? Come on, man. Really? I mean, I respect LeBron for his bag getting capability. Y'all already know where I'm at with LeBron and where I became a lifetime LeBron hater as a basketball player. Now, I respect his business prowess, but as a basketball player, y'all already know where I lost my respect for him. So I'm not going to talk about that today because that takes my whole mood to a whole different, different realm. And y'all don't really want to see that because then it would be like,
y'all want to see a dead body?
Yeah, you don't want to see that. Once I get to talking about LeBron, my demeanor changes if we're going to stay on basketball. Now, we want to talk about the business side of it. I think the business side of it is cool. We can talk about the business side of it. LeBron did good. LeBron is a great code switcher. Do y'all realize how LeBron code switches? I mean, LeBron code switches well. He can go from that athlete to activist. He jumps into the daddy role. He gets his socialite thing going. LeBron be up there dancing on the concert stages with Drake and all the, the rappers and stuff. And he be dressing like him, and he's big as fuck. But he be dressing like, he dressing like Drake and Lil Baby and Dub Baby and your mama's baby and daddy's baby. He be dressing like all them people with his socks pulled up. And he just like a big ass kid. I get it. I respect it. I don't respect him on the basketball court, and y'all know why. We're not gonna keep doing it. You just look.
Negroes, do your duty.
Do your duty. It's where we at, man. Shit. So just knocked over 64 minutes. I know people be like, what does he talk about for that long? Dude, we're just getting started. Settle in. People that have to code switch are moving. They're eating. We've talked about this already. We've already laid the groundwork where we talked about who created the term. So where we are now is as we move forward in this world, acknowledging the code switch, identifying what you need to do to maximize everything for your family. You got a code switch? I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you have to speak another dialect to get to what you want. You've got to speak a different language I'm not saying you got to, hablo español, but you might have to speak a different language. And I'm only speaking linguistically, not speaking ethnically. So what we have now are people maneuvering in spaces that they didn't maneuver in prior to 3 years ago. 3 years ago, things were different. You don't think people have to code switch post Corvid? I mean, it's Corvid still out there, but it's not, it's not in the news cycle. It's not in the news cycle. So without it being in the news cycle, you really don't hear about it. You just don't hear about it. So where we are now, as to where we were before, we've code switched many a times. If you're out here moving, you have absolutely code switched. Thanks, Free. You don't have any choice unless you are financially fit to the point where when your eyes open up in the morning, you can close them back and roll over and you don't lose a thing. That's when you're okay. Until you can do that. Now, I ain't talking about on your normal day off. I'm talking about any day of the week. Your eyes can pop open. Now, for some of y'all eyes pop open because of an alarm clock. Can't live without it. Can't live without it. Some of y'all need an alarm clock. I get that. I totally get that. Some of y'all just wake up because you know you got to wake up. Like the elders used to say, need mo get to you. You won't need no alarm clock if need mo get to you. Y'all ever hear of need mo? Need mo? Because you need mo. Yeah. They be like, need mo get to you. I'm like, who's need mo? Oh, you gonna meet need mo. They used to play that game back in the day. The elders would play that game. Need mo ain't got to him. So once need mo get to you, you'll understand though. You'll get it. You'll get it. If you don't get it, need mo got you. So getting out here into the world, figuring things out, something so crazy. Like when I talk about code switching, I do think about certain situations like, since the consistent dialogue about reparations has hit the mainstream, people tend to use the word and implement it into their lives, sometimes unjustifiably. Sometimes people are spot on with their, similes and metaphors, analogies and whatnot. But sometimes they're way off. And when they're way off, it's very embarrassing to the collective. Speaking on the collective side here, because if I show this video, I want y'all to understand me speaking from the collective side does not mean I feel that the person is wrong from the get. The video I'm thinking about, though, she is wrong. So I'll get that out there before I actually show it. Yeah, she was wrong. She was wrong. I'm gonna show this video. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull this down here. Hold on a second. Pull it down, down, down. What is that about? Bow, bow, bow. So yeah, we're gonna try to. What we got? What we got? What we got? Oh, okay. Oh, that was professional. Good that was off screen, though. I was professional enough to actually take it right off the screen. Come on, dude. Tap in. Tap in. Every time I see like a trailer of New Jack City, I just want to go watch it. But I don't like watching it with the commercials. New Jack City is a very difficult movie to watch with the commercials and the language edits. It's really horrible. Let me be honest with you. Shit's really horrible. I don't like it. And Morris doesn't like it either. All right. So I'm going to show this video. In this video, let me just kind of set it up, the scenario. This lady is at the Target store. And I guess she didn't have enough money. I mean, that pretty much does it, right? Oh, no, let me go ahead and add in just a tad bit more truth. A black lady was at the Target store and she didn't have enough money. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at with it. She was at Target, attempted to buy some things, but didn't have enough bread, and it didn't work out. So, okay, just letting you know, that's the way it happened. Now I want to show the video so you can understand what happened, and then oops, boop, the whole screen. Yeah, so let me go and get this. I'm gonna put my cans on just so I can hear the audio. I think, yeah, there's audio on this. All right. What you got? Let's go ahead and bring it on up. Bring me down. There we go. You got the full angle of this. All right. So we're going to run this right now. And, this is just the intro to the video.
Negroes, do your duty.
That technically wasn't the, but it is. Hold on a second.
And she said, "Excuse me." And I was like, "Man, like, I need you to back up or leave. Like, well, we can't do that for you." So she started charging at me. I came all the way back into my office into an enclosed space, and I hit her in the face.
A shocking moment caught on camera when a Target employee punches a customer in the face after she cornered him in an office.
You backed him into an office and you got hit in the face, unfortunately.
When people who are backed into a corner, they can choose, they can choose to do the right thing or they can choose to lash out.
Hey, you were in the wrong here, just so we're
I
clear.
held the.
She says the whole altercation was her way to take a stand.
This is not Rosa Parks moment, dude. Don't play with me.
Rosa
The incident
Parks.
happened on October 22nd of last year at a Target in Blue Ash, Ohio. Security video shows 37-year-old Karen Ivory checking out at the register. When the bill surpasses $1,000, Ivory says she won't have enough.
All right, so let me just stop it there. I said she went to Target, she shopped, she went to pay for her stuff, and she didn't have enough money. This is not Target's fault. She shopped. They bagged up all of her shit, and she didn't have enough bread. Now, I don't know if she shopped from a list, if she freestyled it, improvised, whatever. But let me just say from the outset, this has nothing to do with Target being at fault. This is all on her. You ain't got enough money to pay for all the shit you done put in that cart. That's not on Target. That's on yo ass. Let's proceed, shall we?
Okay.
And she said, I'm not going to have enough money to pay for this. I need to talk to the manager. She's not going to be walking by.
Body camera video captures Target manager Ashley Meyer describing to police what happened.
So I came around and I was like, hey, what can I do for you?
Okay.
Usually it's like the price is wrong or whatever. She starts going on this spiel about about how like I've had a privileged life and she's been disadvantaged, and then said that.
And so if all this is true, let me just be honest. If all this is true, we still haven't gotten to a part where Target is at fault. I mean, even though that might be true, she might have had a privileged life to the other lady being disadvantaged, but this ain't got nothing to do with none of that right now. You just put $1,000 worth of shit in a cart and you ain't got $1,000. Target's still not at fault. Let's proceed, shall we?
She was asking Target to make reparations for her.
Okay,
And
gotta stop it again. We didn't get to go far. Reparations. I just talked about how people using that word and it's not really what they mean. Target, reparations? Why does Target owe you reparations? You want some rebates? You want some discounts? Get online, shop online. You get shit cheaper online. But Target don't owe you no reparations. She used reparations in here, and this is how reparations gets looked at like it's fuck shit. Because now you got somebody trying to get reparations out of Target's ass. Yeah. Yeah, this is goofy shit right here. This goofy shit. Did you not hear it? Hold on a second. Where's she at? One. Here we go.
About how like I've had a privileged life and she's been disadvantaged, and then said that she was asking Target to make reparations for her. And I said, that's not something we can do tonight. If you need a donation, like you can call tomorrow. I can put you in touch with the HR person, but that isn't something I can do for you right now tonight.
Okay.
And then she was like, you need to put me in touch with someone tonight. And I was like,
So she was looking for a reparations coordinator that night that she didn't have $1,000 to pay for her shit. I mean, you ain't got the money, just walk out or put some shit back so you do have enough money. I don't know exactly how close she was, but to say that you looking for reparations from Target and you talking to the night manager and she telling you she can't help you, so now you want to speak to somebody else, ain't nobody else there because she the night manager, and she could at least put you in charge with somebody tomorrow. The fact remains you have $1,000 worth of shit that you can't pay for. That's the only reason there was this altercation. And I don't want anybody to believe anything else. This ain't got nothing to do with that girl having a privileged life, the other one having a disadvantaged life. This got to do with you not having $1,000. Target needs their money.
can't. There isn't.
Okay.
Like,
strange.
Yeah. And then she got really close to me. So I put my hands up and backed up, and she like followed me. She was like breathing into my eyeballs.
Okay. I had to stop it there because I laughed. She sounded like Lou when she said it. She was like, she was breathing into my eyeballs. When she said that shit, I lost it. You might not caught it because I stopped it so quick, but she said she was breathing so close to me. She was breathing into my eyeballs. Listen.
She got really close to me. So I put my hands up and backed up, and she like followed me. She was like breathing into my eyeballs.
Was she screaming at you or?
Yeah. So she got really close to me. I put my hands up. I touched her shoulders because she was like coming into my space.
Okay.
And then she because I touched her, she went after that and just started screaming really loudly and backed me up against the soda machine.
Okay.
And then that's when our security person, she called our security person.
Security video shows the incident unfold as Ivory approaches the manager and gets in her face. After that, a loss prevention manager approaches.
So what happened?
She
being secure at 2046.
Okay. Came up. I tried to verbally de-escalate. She told me that she wanted to work it out, and I told her we could.
You see how he's trying to sound real professional? He said, I tried to verbally de-escalate. He's literally right in the rules and regulations of the Target handbook. He said, I was trying to verbally de-escalate before I knocked the shit out of her. I'm just telling you right now, before I knocked the shit out of her, I tried to verbally de-escalate. He made that clear to the officers right then. Look, bro, before I knocked the shit out of this woman, I tried to verbally de-escalate. He put that out there first, dog. He put that out there first, Free. I verbally de-escalated. At least I attempted to, but I was not successful. So I had to knock shit out of him. Okay, sorry. Let me get back to the verbal de-escalation that did not work.
And then she said, "Excuse me," and I was like, "Man,
I gotta listen to that again. Actually, hold on.
Okay. Came up. I tried to verbally de-escalate. She told me that she wanted to work it out, and I told her we couldn't do that.
Okay.
And then she said, "Excuse me," and I was like, "Man, I need you to back up or leave. But we can't do that for you." So she started charging at me. I came all the way back into my office.
Now, to me, she didn't look like she was charging. She doesn't look like a charger. Okay. She's not a charger. Now, she might be a lunger, or she might even be a stumbler, but she's not a charger. She's not a charger. She's a good $3, top heavy, and probably 40 something. She's not charging. She might be doing one of the other things, but she's not charging. She didn't charge him. She might have lunged towards him. Her slip and slides might have just came across a little bit quicker than normal steps. But I know one thing for sure. She wasn't charging. But this is where it gets set up. Let me go and just go back a little bit so y'all can see. He said she was charging him. Watch. She ain't charging him.
And she said, "Excuse me," and I was like, "Man, I need you to back up or leave. But we can't do that for you." So she started charging at me. I came all the way back.
She was walking slow
into an enclosed space, and I hit her in the face.
Surveillance video shows Ivory run after the manager and into his office.
Why do they say she running? She is not running after him. They say she running. She's not running. She is not running.
Back up or leave, but we can't do that for you. So she started charging at me. I came all the way back into my office.
She's lumbering. She might be, like I said, stumbling forward, maybe coming faster than she was, but she was not running. She was not charging. She's not a runner. She's not a charger.
Office into an enclosed space, and I hit her in the face.
Surveillance video shows Ivory run after the manager and into his office. When she approaches, he punches her in the face. While the security video does not have audio, the manager later described the incident to police.
He done knocked her down now. They edited it now. Edited. this out. They didn't show the actual contact. So all you're going to see is him swing, and then she's on the ground.
When she approaches, he punches her in the face. While the security video does not have audio, the manager later described the incident to police on body camera video.
So I tried to literally close her out, but at that point she was like,
yeah, you sure did. You tried to close her out. You tried to close her out, dog, with that right hand. It's just the thing was, he's a welterweight and she's a heavyweight. So he couldn't put her to sleep. He tried to cancel her out. Yeah, you right on it.
Pretty much running, so she barreled her way in, and then
See, he said it. He said she was pretty much running. No, she wasn't running, but he did back it up and said she barreled her way in. She's a barreler. That's what she is. She's a barreler. You know, she's not a runner and she's not a charger, but she's a barreler, stumbler, you know, lunger. She's not a charger or a runner. She's a barreler.
kept coming into my office.
Okay. Yes. And you just hit her and that's it?
Hit her like right in the face, like right in the jaw.
After the manager,
He's like right in the face, right in the jaw. He's like connected pretty solidly. Felt pretty good about it. She went down like a sack of potatoes.
punches Ivory in the face. Security video shows him calling 911.
What did your notes say? The lady came in and punched her man, or her
Yeah,
manager punched her?
yeah, some sort of shenanigans. Didn't say anything about a manager. Said somebody came into an office,
I thought it
started
was
assaulting
assumed an
him.
employee went
Yeah.
assumed it was a manager.
Allegedly, this chick's impaired.
When officers arrive, body cameras catches Ivory arguing with the manager as officers work to get her information.
I tried to close you out of my office and you just kept on pushing your way in.
That's right.
No, sir. I didn't push my way in.
Yes,
I
you
came.
did.
No, I came around the corner quickly.
Hey, would you
I did not push
quit
the
talking?
door.
Hey, no.
Excuse you?
Stop talking. When I'm telling you, you stop talking, okay?
Do you know who I am?
We'll figure that out when I get your ID.
Ivory later tells police officers the incident stemmed from her request.
Why would she say, do you know who I am? Why would she say, do you know who I am? As if she, you know, I mean, she wants to be all Jesse Jackson with it. I am somebody. I am somebody. Okay, I got you. But he probably doesn't know who you are because you're not Beyonce and you're not Rihanna. And that's who they're going to mostly know. They're going to know some type of celebrity or something. If you black and you a celebrity, they'll probably know you. But you probably wouldn't be in the manager's office after getting trunked. I mean, she got trunked, dog. She got trunked. And my thing was, she wouldn't have got all that had she not started out wrong. And some people going to think that I feel like she started out wrong when she got up in the girl's face and was breathing into her eyeballs. I don't believe she was wrong then when she got up in the girl's face and breathed in her eyeballs. I don't think she was wrong when she went from the girl to the boy. I think she was wrong by coming in there, putting $1,000 worth of shit in that cart, and she didn't have $1,000. Let's start there. You went to that store and didn't have enough money. And when you found out you didn't have enough money, then you wanted to try to cash in on your reparations from their store. I didn't know Target had a reparations program, but now that I know that there is an alleged one out here, because this is alleged. This is alleged. She's thinking she can get reparations from Target. Target. Who can get reparations from Target? You can get a refund. You can get a rebate. You got coupons. We can get you a discount in store. But you're not getting reparations from Target. And then she said she was Rosa Parks. So maybe he thought, she wanted him to think she was Rosa Parks. Is it Rosa Parks' granddaughter? She could be going crazy. It might be Rosa Parks' granddaughter. I don't know. Maybe she crazy, Parks family did kind of fumble that bag. He said Illich was paying Rosa Parks' mortgage for the last, I don't know how many umpteen years. How they fumble that Rosa Parks bag? She should have way more money than them uprooting the damn house. Didn't they uproot the house and put it in the Smithsonian somewhere? They put it somewhere. Maybe I don't know. Could have been Greenfield Village. I don't know. They get Martin Luther King's house, or the house that he did some business with in Selma. They uprooting that and bringing it to Greenfield Village. This is what black folks going about to start accepting reparations. They just going to keep expanding Greenfield Village and different places, giving us places to go look at all the detrimental shit that happened to us historically, but not be able to talk about it, not have it be taught. But yeah, put it in the museum so we can go pay y'all to go see our history. What the fuck, man? Is Greenfield Village giving discounts of the day and for the next 6 months to every black person that comes through Greenfield Village to see that house of Selma? Black people shouldn't pay for that house. They shouldn't pay to go in Greenfield Village once that house hits for the first 60 days that it's in there. And you don't get in there in 60 days, you pay on day 61. But show some urgency. Show some urgency and get on in there. Because they know they're going to buy other shit. They don't really need that admission cost anyway. What they need is you to buy them that vending and buy stuff in the gift shops and all that. That admission ain't shit. I mean, it is, but it ain't. So let's continue this.
Quest for reparations on her purchase.
So what caused the issue then here today?
Because I came in, Target is somewhat of a turning point. And we're gonna have a big discussion here. And I asked them for next.
Who are you gonna have this big discussion with?
Target, whatever in Target I need to speak with.
Okay.
I asked nicely, young lady.
Hi, George, 31 spots responding, 2432, location available, Target 2.
Who would be called if this place was called fire? I asked her to put me in touch with the right people. Who would you call if this place was on fire? It was. She would not. I'm not gonna do that. The young man came over, stood behind her. I asked him the same thing. They teamed up. We are not. Actually, no. The young lady got in my face. She pushed me too. She put her hands on me as well. I put my hands on no one. I came close to them and they felt threatened. Now at least hers was a pushback.
Yeah, just to separate you from her because you're in her space. Yeah.
She felt threatened. Who? Why did you feel threatened?
Depends on, I don't know what this discussion was about. What were you asking her to do?
Reach out to her manager so we can have a larger discussion about how money works, and how provision works, and how it's been working on the community in a very wrong way.
See, and that ain't got shit to do with nothing. I mean, it's not that she's wrong about anything. There has obviously been privilege for people. There's obviously been detrimental situations for us. But that didn't have shit to do with nothing that day. That day, she didn't have enough money to buy the stuff she had in that cart. I mean, I'm down to talk about, restorative justice and all types of stuff. Social injustices, systemic oppression, systemic racism. I'm here to talk about all that all day. But what's right is right. And the problem with this is none of this happens if she has $1,000. None of it. She had $1,000 worth of shit in the cart. They bagged it up. She didn't have $1,000 when they needed their money. That's the problem right here. Not oppression. not oppression.
Can you elaborate a little bit, go into further detail?
Ivory calls the incident her, quote, Rosa Parks moment.
Sure. I was asking for the support of my community to come behind me in a big way to have a money conversation. There have been people subjugated and blocked out of things. We have decided we were not going to have a bigger conversation. I decided to take a stand. This is my Rosa Parks moment, dude. Don't play with me.
This is my Rosa Parks moment, dude. Don't play with me. Did y'all hear that? Here we go.
We have decided we were not going to have a bigger conversation. I decided to take a stand. This is my Rosa Parks moment, dude. Don't play with me.
Body camera video captures Ivory speaking with officers for more than 30 minutes, stressing the statement she was trying to make.
We're having a conversation about how to reconcile the fact that some people benefited off of a system that was driven against other people. I asked nicely to have that conversation.
But that's not the time and the place. I'm not saying that she shouldn't get an answer to her question. She shouldn't get a conversation with somebody that works for Target. But that's not the time and the place for that. The time and the place for that was the retail end of it. And she came there to retail. And when she put all her stuff in the basket and they rang her up, retail, she wanted wholesale because she didn't have retail money. Then she wanted wholesale through reparations. Then she wanted to talk about systemic oppression. And then she assumed the Rosa Parks moment. Dude. She called him dude. This is my Rosa Parks moment, dude. I don't know if I'd have been able to not laugh. I don't know if I'd have not. She said, this is my Rosa Parks moment, dude.
Okay, what were you asking for?
For her to connect me with who I could talk to.
What was your purpose of that further conversation? What were you going to ask that person for to do?
Hey man, let me stop it before we get to the answer. He asked the right question there. Y'all not gonna see me side too much with the badge in a lot of these situations because it never really ends up well for us. But that question right there was a good question. That cop asked a good question there. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due.
To break the lies around money.
What's that mean?
We all know money has not been treating everybody equally.
Okay.
Money is not the only way for things to happen.
Were you asking them to make a donation, essentially? Or to let you have them for free?
No,
what was it?
I was coming up to the limit of where I had money. I was trying to ask if Target would comp me the rest, and we would have a conversation.
See, that right there, that right there, that's fucking delusional. Okay? That's delusional. Look, man. Look, man. How is Target going to comp you the rest? I don't even know how much she had. I don't think she ever stated the actual dollar amount like they were a part in. Didn't even matter. Could be $1. She must have been paying by a card. Either way, she didn't have enough money. And she didn't even have enough combination of cash and credit. Whatever. I don't care. If you don't have enough money, there's two things you can do. You can put some of the shit back, or you can pay for it. It's two things you can do. Now you can put some of the shit back. Oh, I'm sorry. There's 3 things you can do. You can put some of the shit back, and that's assuming that you pay for it. Or you can put all the shit back and you walk out of the store with nothing. Or you pay for it all. And she didn't have pay for it all money, so that gets taken off the table. So either you putting something back, paying for the rest, or you're letting it go and you're putting it all back. She probably wouldn't put it back. She'd just let it sit there in the cart and they would have to restock it. It's probably what would have happened. She wouldn't have said, I'll go ahead and put all these items back. And then, no, they want her out of the store. Now she's created a whole bunch of work for them. And they would have much rather have her walk out the store than stalk old girl breathing into her eyeballs. And then, oh boy, going back into the office and him coming in with the haymaker. He probably liked that, you know. I didn't particularly like it, but she was in the wrong on that move there. He felt threatened. I mean, you know, he could have said, I feared for my life, and I'd rather him do that than pull out his gun and shoot her, because that could have easily happened. What if he had a gun? What if he's carrying? And he really felt threatened. He could have shot her. So I get it. Let's get back to that. Yeah.
Bubble up a bigger conversation about why, because I know the heart of this place.
Okay.
It's the right place for me to have this conversation.
Target's a good company.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was trying to have a
See, the cop being an asshole now. He said Target's a good company. Like, he gives a fuck. Why would the cop care about whether Target's a good company or not? So he's trying to be nice. He's trying to be appeasing. So I have to give him credit there, but that just makes me laugh because she sounded stupid. She's like, I think this is the place to have this conversation. I know the heart of this company. I know the heart. Now, what if the cop would have said, like, yeah, that bullseye, you talking about that symbol, that bullseye, it's right in the center? I would have died laughing. But he held it actually back enough to where he said, yeah, Target's a good company. And that still made me laugh. That made me laugh just because she didn't even realize, and he might have been serious as shit, but she didn't realize how stupid she looked once he actually said that. Target's a good company. Good, solid portfolio, investment-wise. Whatever.
A hard conversation in a safe place.
Yeah. So did you?
No. People hit me for that. I did it the right way. I went through the right steps. They kept. The reason the problem why money doesn't work right is because it blocks people at checkpoints. And I'm tired of people locking good people out. You don't get paid what you deserve nearly as much, because choosing to do the right thing in this world costs.
See, she almost cost him his job. She almost cost him his job because she's good. She's good here. She's like, you don't get paid nearly what you're worth. You deserve so much more. And if you looked at him, he raised his arm up like he wanted to say something. But what are you going to do? He's going to say, yeah, I don't get paid shit in this job. And then his boss going to be watching this shit. And then be like, oh, you don't make enough? You fired. So he didn't say, he stood back and stood by. He did raise his arm a little bit. I'm going to show you again. I watch all this shit. I be paying attention to like body language and shit. Watch this. She said, you don't get paid nearly enough. And watch him raise his arm because he wants to say something. But then he thought about it like, oh shit, my mortgage is due.
The reason the problem why money doesn't work right is because it blocks people at checkpoints. And I'm tired of people locking good people out. You don't get paid what you deserve nearly as much.
You see his hand? he was like, yeah, you got a point there. That right hand came up ever so slightly. Watch this. I'm trying to tell you. Watch it.
I did it the right way. I went through the right steps. They kept. The reason the problem why money doesn't work right is because it blocks people at checkpoints. And I'm tired of people locking good people out. You don't get paid what you deserve nearly as much, because choosing to do the right thing in this world cost us monetarily. That's not fair. The system is rigged against people doing the right thing.
When Ivory is told she's now trespassing in Target, she becomes visibly upset.
As of today, you're trespassing from Target.
I'm sorry?
As of today, you're trespassing from Target.
On the basis of you getting money?
Ma'am, let's go.
Outside.
No, that is not going to
Either
happen.
you walk out on your own or in.
See, and that's where I didn't get it. Let's start at the trespassing thing. They didn't have to do that. They could just say, hey, ma'am, we're just going to need you to leave the store. And if she had the issue about being hit, which I think she might have had an issue, but she did have an issue. Then she needs to say, I need to talk to you, da-da-dee-da-da-da. And then maybe they can talk to her outside. But then when they came with the trespassing thing, I thought that was a little, I don't know. That was a little preschool. They didn't need to do that because they should have known. Now you're charging her with a crime, not charging her, but accusing her of a crime. So that's, yeah, they shouldn't have did that.
Handcuffs.
Oh, I will be arrested for this cause.
Okay, come on.
No, I'm
Come
not
on.
gonna move.
Don't make this
Nope,
more
you're
difficult than it has
gonna
to be.
it's gonna be on camera. Where are you holding your lines at?
Come on.
Ivory then pushes back, arguing she should not be removed from the store.
Does he have to?
That's all this is.
So
He
he gets the right to kick me out after he hits me? He didn't bubble
So-
that, he can't bubble that up in management?
He is
I
speaking on
asked-
behalf of the company at this point.
Really?
That's what he's
Exactly.
doing.
So he can speak on behalf of the company at that level, but he couldn't do it there?
I wasn't out there. I'm sure tensions were a little different than they are at this moment in time. So
No, you're gonna reconcile that. You're not gonna give me any more lies. You will tell the truth about the situation. No. You are trying to arrest me for him hitting me.
Correct.
Okay, so I watched it a couple of times. So she said, you're going to arrest him for him hitting me. And he was like, correct. He basically, he didn't lie to her. He said, correct. That's basically. It all starts when she didn't have enough money. Let's just go there. She didn't have enough money. That started all this. If she had took care of her business, this doesn't happen. Yeah.
Arrest. Yes. You're under arrest for menacing and disorderly conduct. Okay? Now, here's what we would like to do. We would rather you walk outside and not make a big deal. If you're going to make a big deal, we're going to have to handcuff you and do all that other stuff.
Yes, you will.
Let's go.
Go ahead, stand up then.
I'm not gonna
Don't
move.
get resisting too. Okay?
Let's do it.
Let's not.
If we're gonna go into it, let's do it. If you're gonna hold every line, you know what happened here.
With that, officers tell Ivory the video evidence is against her.
I know, I just watched the video.
I asked to open a conversation and he's still blocking me out and you guys are protecting me.
Ma'am, you chased the one employee all the way to the front, okay? You made contact with her body by pushing your body in hers. I just watched it clear as day on the video.
Okay,
He then came out and you followed him all the way back here,
okay.
making him fear for his safety. You backed him into an office and you got hit in the face, unfortunately.
When people who are backed into a corner, they can choose, they can choose to do the right thing or they can choose to lash out.
Okay, you were in the wrong here, just so we're
I
clear.
held the line.
You didn't hold
And
the line.
I moved my line continuously. I asked.
She said, I held the line, but then I moved my line. I just kept moving the line and just moved it. And then you moved right into the line of fire and he threw that haymaker.
And when they did not respect, they were gatekeeping me. Like the whole world has kept people.
And you were free to leave at any time.
There she goes, putting politics back into it. They were gatekeeping me, just like the whole world. Just like the whole world has kept people. Yeah. Has nothing to do with you not having enough money to play for your goods.
Absolutely.
But you didn't.
Absolutely.
So
because it
you
wasn't right.
amplified the situation. No, you wanted something
when the
for
laws
free.
are not right,
You wanted something.
you
for
make a
free.
stand so they can change.
Okay. So you see that? She got the fist balled up. She got the fist balled up, y'all. The fist is balled up. He said, you can leave now or go in handcuffs. Her choice. You know, she sure did. See, that's the thing. She took a chance at them straight. They could have straight up mobbed her. Because she could have said, you know what, let's get to it. And she'd have made a move. They could have rushed her. They could have rushed her when she said, let's get to it. She lucky they didn't rush her. She lucky. Because when she said, let's get to it, motherfucker, they could have rushed her.
You ready to go outside?
She got the fist up, man. She doing the black power fist in the Target office. That's what's fucking me up about all this. She's literally doing the black power fist in the Target office. I am tripping. I'm like, why, man? Why did why did Black Target fit Black Target? Black, it is Black Target though. Black power fist in the Target. What is that doing here? What does that really mean? She put that fist up, dog. I was done. I was done, man. Can y'all see that? Is it too small? You see her fist? Her fist, man. She got her black power fist up in the Target office. This is some of the funniest shit. She said, it's her Rosa Parks moment, dude. I'm damn near thinking about making that a drop. This is my Rosa Parks moment, dude. All right. Let's go. Keep going.
The laws are meant to hold people down. You will fight for me, my community.
Let's go outside.
Responding officers explained the Target manager was not in the wrong and will not be charged.
That doesn't, just because your intentions were good, does not make this any less illegal, unfortunately.
Right.
So we
But
have,
what happens when the
so give me 2
laws
seconds.
are not okay for people? We
I
need to talk
have
about
to
it.
enforce the laws that are in place. Okay, that is our job. That is our goal.
But he's not getting arrested for assault?
It's not assault.
He's defending himself.
Ivory maintains she did not get physical with any Target employees.
No, there was not any times that my hands came up to do anything to anybody.
You're not being
When
charged
I did,
with assault.
I stood my ground.
Okay, you
And
were
when
wrong.
people, no, I wasn't.
She stood her ground until he knocked the shit out of her. I mean, she did stand her ground, but she she did stand her ground, but she should have had her footwork right. She need to have her right back next time if she's gonna get hit like that. Oh, straight up, she did the wrestling move. And the other girl, they're both top heavy. They're both top heavy. So, you know, probably when they mush together, that's probably considered assault right there once they mush together. They both top heavy. That girl that said she hit her in the eyeballs with her breath, she was top heavy. And then she, you know, so yeah, whatever happened. She belly pushed. Okay. I wasn't really paying attention to that. Yeah, it's assault. It's assault, man. She got to get it together. She got to get it together because it's her Rosa Parks moment. Rosa Parks about to get in the back of the police car again.
Standing your ground is not wrong if you're standing it in the truth.
Finally, Ivory allows officers to handcuff her.
I need you to turn around, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest. Thank you.
Violate my rights as a human being.
She's that.
This here is just not where she should be. I mean, getting arrested in a Target store manager's office because you chose to follow him in there and then get dropped in the middle of the floor to be walked up out of there. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, how can you get walked up out of the joint after you got knocked down? And they said it was self-defense, so he convinced them and must have showed them, you know, the camera angles like, look, see how she's stalking me? That's more probably the appropriate word. They kept saying running, charging. She was more or less just stalking him because look how much bigger she was than him. She's a big lady. She's a big lady. She, as my grandmother would say, she was a biggin'. Biggin'. Good Lord. She didn't know how to code switch here. A good code switch could have worked out. She went with the other way. She went with the political end. The political end didn't work because she was in the wrong. She should have went with gathering all the information in. Be the one that has all their paperwork right. So if this goes left, you're good. But getting walked up out of there in bracelets is not a good look. Not a good look. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, man. Got to get a shout out to this youngin'. Quick commercial break right here. Hakimi. His wife demanded half of his money, and he said, I got everything in my mama's name. Did y'all hear about that? That boy said, I'm putting everything in my mama's name. That was good for him. I'm happy about that. She tried to get him for half his money and she ain't kicked a motherfucking soccer ball. Dog, that's the new hack. That's the new hack. Got everything in my mama's name. So she's up out of there. Get your clothes. You get your clothes. You can keep the jewelry. But you got to go. I don't know if they had any kids or not. If they had some kids, you know, he going to spin off a little something. Yes, yes. So I'm thinking, I don't know what the wife gonna do. Bye. Bye, Felicia. She get nada. She get nada. She get Nathan's. This boy put everything in his mama's name. So whatever she got, she got. She ain't taking no more. But yeah, I think it's a smart move for young men to consider that. Ain't nothing wrong with putting everything in your mama's name. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So, code switching. And I'm going to have one more slide, I think. We're going to end up doing the ownership, entrepreneurship stream tomorrow. Scheduled to go off at 9 o'clock, but I'm on here at 6 right now, and I ain't running out all the way through, so. But I'm definitely doing that. But we have to finish up this code switching thing because there's a lot of code switching out here and it's not healthy. I get why some people do it, but other people, I don't. Either way, I'm not switching on anybody if it's not beneficial for them health-wise. Oh, I do have a splinter. I thought I had a splinter, man. I just couldn't find it. I'm going to get that out. That hurts. But yeah, anybody that says they're not or have not or doesn't code switch, they're crazy. Because people code switch and it can be unhealthy. And the one thing that I'm not going to do is commit myself to commending anybody to be unhealthy. I'm going to do what I can to prevent you from being unhealthy. And I mean, that's the only thing I can do is be encouraging at that point. I can't make someone live the life I want them to live, but I can be encouraging. So to be encouraging, I'm going to have to code switch into more of a mentor type dialect, language variety. I'll have to change it up. And it won't matter whether I'm dealing with a dominant culture or not. Those words, they are what they are. They're universal. So code switching there is something that's a necessity, but I will never do anything that's going to be fundamentally unhealthy for you. And I know that there are people that are like, and what I've tried to do is I've tried to stay on the right side of history with Lizzo. But I'm never going to code switch to believing that just because Lizzo is proud of herself, that she's not unhealthy, because Lizzo is very unhealthy. Lizzo's unhealthy. She's unhealthy. That dancer on her left to our right, she's somewhat unhealthy too. Carrying too much. The one on the left, Lizzo's right. She's on her way. But there's a lot of pressure there. A lot of pressure. A lot of pressure on backs. A lot of pressure on kneecaps. A lot of pressure on hips. It's a lot of pressure. Lot of pressure. And Melissa, that's Lizzo's name. I like to call her Melissa because it's more of a personal touch. I think about her health more than I think about anything else. I mean, I know she's marketable right now, but will she be marketable when she can't do the things that she's doing right now because her size is going to take over? Her size is going to take over. Can she survive? I believe she's going to hit a wall and health issues will set in if she does not start being a tad bit more health conscious. She's got to get some of that pressure up off them knees. I know she got a new dude. Hopefully, he'll support her in a mission of becoming more healthy. Hopefully he doesn't just sit around and just let her be like this. Because ain't no dude a real dude if he just gonna let his woman be unhealthy like this. Because she's unhealthy. Lizzo is unhealthy. Melissa Jefferson is unhealthy. I just can't support or salute unhealthy habits. And Lizzo creates unhealthy habits because she makes people think that what she's doing right now is healthy. And if you say something adverse to it, then you're, what's the term? Body shaming. I was going to say shaming, but I was like, it's not shaming. Shaming. Body shaming. Well, I'm not body shaming if I tell you what I know to be true, and a high body mass index is unhealthy, and that's what she has. She has a very high body mass index. Yeah. And that is not healthy. So why would I laud it as healthy? I'm not going to laud it as healthy. I'm absolutely not. It's not healthy. And people will code switch and give you off a language to talk about Lizzo as if she's doing something right. She's making it okay for you to be unhealthy. That's not right. I'm not going to salute that. Done there, bro. Sorry. We don't salute that shit. Sorry. So yeah, man. Don't let nobody ever tell you they don't code switch. They haven't code switched. They would never code switch because they're code switching right then. They're code switching right then. So, but yeah, where we are in this world, you got to do what you got to do. Why don't they do what they do? That's a great song by Jermaine Jackson. I just heard that song a couple days ago. And great song for him. Do what you do. I'm actually listening to that today. It was in something store I was in, I think. They had the music going overhead. But I think today is the day that Prince died, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not mistaken. Today is the day that he left the living. And it's a rough day for a lot of people. A lot of people are big Prince fans. I mean, I loved him, as a musician. I thought he was a pretty dynamic performer. I didn't always agree with his apparel choices, but I felt like the guy was special. And I know he's the GOAT to a lot of people. For me, I go back and forth between him and Mike. I do. But he had a certain style that I like that Mike didn't do. And then Mike had a certain style that Prince didn't do. So it made it acceptable for me to like both styles. Silly. I think Ray is sending me pictures making us look younger. We look way younger. So that's funny. That's a funny picture. But yeah, man, they're both great in their right. And I do a little saluting, with Mike, the day Mike left up out of here. And I think I've run something with Prince too before. But a lot of y'all that's out here now weren't back then. I got some day oneers or day twos. But this technically is my favorite song by him. So I'm going to rock this on the way out. And y'all be safe out here tonight. Make sure that you are protecting yourselves, protecting your families. Don't nothing else matter. Don't let nobody fool you. Protect your peoples. Protect your peoples. And we'll get back at it soon enough. Y'all be good. Uh-oh. I don't know how that ran like that. Oh, it was in pre-play mode and it starts up the queue. But this is it. She's always in my hair. I'm sure I'll get a strike for this. Fair use, motherfuckers. Fair use. Y'all know I'll just be fair use in this stuff. I ain't trying to make no money off this song. Brother's gone now. He can't get no money. Y'all didn't want to pay him when he was living. Y'all ain't gonna pay his people when he's dead. Fuck y'all. Rest in Paisley. To the purple one.
Whenever I feel like giving up, whenever my sunshine turns to rain, whenever my hopes and dreams are aimed in the wrong direction, she's always there, telling me how much she cares. She's always in my hair. She's always in my hair, my hair. Whenever I feel like not too great at all, whenever I'm all alone, even if I hit the wrong notes, she's always in my place. She's always there, telling me how much she cares. She's always in my hair. She's always in my hair, my hair. Maybe I'm married, maybe I won't. Maybe I will not. Let me tell you, baby, if I want to take a load on my life, she's still be there, telling me just how much she really cares. She's always in my hair. She's always in my hair, my hair. Whenever I feel like giving up, whenever my sunshine turns to rain, whenever my hopes and dreams are in the wrong direction, she's always telling me how much she cares. Telling me always in my hair. She's always in my hair, my hair. She's always in my hair. She's always in my hair. She's always in my hair. Maybe I will not. Let me tell you, if I wasn't living low on life, she still did that. Cause you know, she thinks I'm hard. She's that woman that thinks I'm hard.
Rest, brother.